Canada. Canada has trees, you know, and they harvest them. They call it lumber. Yeah, wood. And Mark Carney, the Canadian Prime Minister, has announced a $1.2 billion in support for the industry because of these tariffs. Okay, these tariffs are around 35%. 34.5%, I think it is. Something like that. Now, the thing is, you see, Donald Trump is, well, he ain't happy. No, he's just put his tariffs on Canada, and now he's saying, well, 1.2 billion to support the industry. It sounds like a subsidy to me. Well, I suppose it is. Yes. And Donald Trump don't like that when other countries subsidise industries. He's like to put the tariff up on lumber when the United States needs that lumber. The building industry in the United States is suffering. They can't get the materials when they need them, and when they do get them, they are ridiculously expensive. The average cost of building a house in the United States has already gone up by around $15,000 just in tariffs already. And the tariffs haven't even filtered through properly yet. He's going to literally cripple the housing industry, which means people don't have houses to live in, for Christ's sake, you know. Plus those who work for these industries, whether it be the carpenters, the joiners, the bricklayers, the groundworks people, the electricians, all those people won't be able to work either. Well, if you ain't got someone to do the old stick framing for the old house and what have you, where are they going to put the socket boxes, you know, for the electrics? Then you've got the plumbers. All the trades, they have to be lined up. And you have to book them all lined up. If one trade can't get on because you can't get the lumber, for instance, well, then the whole thing collapses. That's the thing about house building. I've been in the industry long enough to know this. And, okay, we build houses different in the UK, because that's where, I was involved house building in the UK. And the trades are different. A lot of wet trades involved, like for instance, getting the old mud on the old brick and then laying the old bricks and what have you for the line. Whether it be English, Flemish, or Fletcher bond or whatever, stretcher bond. And if one trade doesn't, it wasn't so bad with the bricklayers, but with the carpenters, the joiners, the people doing the dry line and stuff, you had to line all these people up. The first fix for electrics, first fix plumbing, goes on and on. And then you've got heating systems and underfloor heating, got all that stuff. You have to get them in when you need them for that build. Now, when it's a site and you've got several houses being built at the same time, sometimes you can jug them about, all right? You've got a little bit of leeway. But when you're doing like a small site of like 2 or 3 houses, or even just one house, if you lose that spot for that trade, it could throw the whole thing out, literally. Because if you don't feel that, they're going to be busy somewhere else working, and somehow you got to get that person back again. You either have to pay more money or pay them overtime, higher contract rate to work the evenings and stuff to get the job done. He really ain't got a clue. He says he's a real estate developer. No, all he did is walk around these places and just shout, and not pay the workers. That's all he did. He didn't do any planning. He didn't do any organising. He just had an idea, a dream that he wanted to do. And he said, "Go, you build that." The man's got no skills. He's got no skills. He's got no... Well, on the fortitude, he's just a horrible piece of work, isn't he? And he clearly doesn't know what he's doing. And now he's threatening. There's a likelihood that with these subsidies from the Canadian government, which is the right thing to do to keep their industry afloat, is now being threatened with more tariffs and restrictions, levies because of a subsidy, which could potentially wipe the subsidy out. Now, like I said before, I'm going to say it again. And Canada, to be fair to Canada, they are doing it, you know. Find new markets ASAP. That's the only way you're going to get stability in Canada. There's a massive amount, because a huge amount of flipping timber that Canada supplies the United States. But quite frankly, you're going to have to bite the bullet, because you can't rely on them. You can't rely on them. You see, you could be halfway through a delivery and what have you, and then he blatantly lands you with this bill. Well, not you with the bill, them with the bill. And they might not have the money to pay it. And then they get stuck. Just make sure, I suppose you'd hope that everything's prepaid. You would hope. But either way, it's disrupting your business. And it's causing turmoil in the industry. Because you don't know what is fucking going on. And you think everything is like, you know, not smoothed out. Because like 35% tariffs is one hell of a lot. It's like the steel tariffs and all that, you know. If you can't plan, you're stuffed. You're stuffed. When you've got businesses of that size, you're looking 1, 2, 3 years ahead at least to what on your actual supply line. Yeah, for what you supply, you mean you provide your product. You have contracts over long periods of time with these people. Guarantees. And see, on the basis of these guarantees for these contracts, you take out loans. Commercial loans for machinery, for equipment, vehicles, etc., etc. And it ain't that easy, say, for Canada, to just, oh, I know, we're going to sell to Europe. Okay, brilliant idea, but you're going to have to make a lot of investments, because you're going to need to do the old phytosanitary. You'll probably have to debark all your logs, or the rule, you know. They have to be all debarked, and so that's one thing. Also probably have to be heat treated as well, all the lumber going over, which makes it more difficult to provide products that are finished products, like, I don't know, flooring already but finish on and stuff like that, because everything has to be to the European Union standards, you know. Now remember, obviously with the UK as well, same difference. They rolled over a lot of the requirements, because, you know, from the EU, you know, EU law on into British law. It was just too much of a behemoth to rewrite all the requirements. Obviously, it'd be ridiculous. They have done some of them, but not all of them. Brexit was a shit. It really is, and it still is. But anyway, do you work in an industry? Do you work in the industry in construction, or maybe you work with on the supply side of lumber? I'd like to know, please, because I learn from you. I really do. Now, sometimes I get things wrong, and like anybody, I'm only human after all. I won't lie to people. If I get something wrong, I will say, you know, if it warrants it, that is. Sometimes it's silly things, you know. But, you know, I do like to get first-hand knowledge from people that I either know in the industry. Like when I was doing a lot of Brexit videos before, I had a lot of people still in the UK working in different industries that I kept in contact with, you know, and I can ask them questions. Very handy, you know. But then it's when you're obviously dealing with stuff from the United States, I'm not in the United States. I'm a British citizen living in France. I just all of a sudden just found it of interest. Especially what really fired me up is seeing Canada and its grit. I love that word, grit. It's determination and grit to stand up for themselves and their sovereignty. And I respect that. I respect that. You see, the British people said they were fighting for their sovereignty with the Brexit, but they didn't have a clue what the fucking sovereignty was. We didn't lose our sovereignty in the first place. We had more sovereignty when we were in the EU. We had a seat at the table, and now we don't. Anyway, that's another story. Please put your like button, maybe comment down below. We've also got the viewers post section now as well, so you yourself can make posts on the channel. So yeah, like memes and stuff like that, or your own images, anything, you know, pretty much. And I have been checking them out on a regular basis as well. It's only just been made live, so some people I think there's a bit alien at the moment because it's new, but it might be quite interesting because it's a good way for you to actually to tell me stuff. You know. Anyway, time for me to go. So I can say toodaloo, you know. Beep the like button.